Hi. One of the great things about being retired is right now we have a blizzard that's going on until tomorrow. And when I had to go to work, I had to figure out how to get there and home safely if there was a blizzard or if things were turning to ice. Because in order to get home, there's a couple of hills and a bridge that I would have to go over both ways. And you don't want to slide off the bridge or slide into anybody. And you also don't want to get stuck going up the bridge and not be able to go all the way up the bridge or a hill, because then you have to back down, and if there's traffic behind you, and and I was one time going down a hill, and I couldn't stop. Luckily, I could turn the vehicle I was driving into the curb, and it hit the curb. And luckily, there happened to be a couple of guys that were shoveling, and they could push me out of there because I was stuck there. That was like a last moment thing. We knew the storm was coming, and I had a grandson that didn't have any boots. So we decided to go out and get him boots before the storm hit. And we had to drive around because for some reason here in Wisconsin, they start selling winter boots around September. And then if you really need them and it doesn't snow until like December, usually there's no boots around. So you have to figure out where to get the stuff that you need. So right now, I'm going outside and drinking coffee, and I'm watching the snowfall, and it's lovely. But I don't have to drive anywhere. So that feels great. I worry about, of course, I have adult children and friends that do have to drive out in it, but it's comforting to be in my house. I can get myself some soup and eat and enjoy myself. So that's one of the wonderful things about retiring that a lot of people don't even think about. And like, I'm a nurse, so if I went into work tonight, probably more than likely the night nurse that comes on at around 10 wouldn't be able to come in because the snow is supposed to keep snowing until tomorrow during the day sometime. So the snow is just going to get worse. It's going to be dangerous for that person to come in. And I would be mandated, which would mean that I would end up working 16 hours instead of just 8. It's always funny, like, looking on the phone. But 16 hours is very, very difficult. Your body, after a certain time, starts getting like you're going to puke feeling. And you can't think right. And so as a healthcare worker, that can be kind of dangerous. And if somebody gets up and falls or something happens, you have a lot going on, and your quality of work starts to go down. So if I knew it was going to be a storm, I would bring extra food so I'd have something to eat. But you're like on edge the whole time, wondering whether or not that person that's supposed to follow you is going to come in. And you also are friends with these people, so you want them to be safe. So I don't have to deal with any of that. Except for I am dealing with it because I'm recently retired and I have friends that I'm concerned about. But I myself, unless I step outside with my coffee and slip and fall, right now I'm comfortable, and it's wonderful. If you're working and you have to deal with that, I'll just tell you a little naughty thing that I used to do is I would watch the weather. And if I knew the weather was going to be really bad, sometimes I would call in ahead of time, which is a whole nother story. I'll explain that later. Grateful for you and here at your service.